Welcome to Emancitopia. This is where I live, and this is the living room, and this is my little brother Seth. Today I want to talk about the importance of creating biodiversity in your yard, and the wastefulness of a traditional lawn. So, as many of you know, I own an organic lawn maintenance company in Canmore, Alberta, Canada, in the Rocky Mountains, and I'm trying to create a movement for more biodiverse yards and less monoculture grass yards. And the first step in that is education, of course, because most of the people who have traditional lawns just aren't informed at why it's environmentally destructive and why it's a problem that we all have to work to address if we want to have a healthier planet and ultimately be healthier as individuals. So I'm going to take you into the yard because that's the best place to show you an example of what a biodiverse lawn or biodiverse yard can look like. And I'll show you some of the plants there. I'll show you their medicinal and food purposes, or I'll explain to you some of the medicinal and food purposes that they can have. This is completely unrehearsed, so bear with me, but hopefully this will be the first of many educational videos. And let's go out to the yard.
If you're wondering, my big brother actually is helping to save the world, and bears don't actually kill us. They just protect themselves from being harmed from pet predators.
Thanks, Seth. That's Seth. He goes on forest walks with Forest Play. He's my little brother. And they go with... Who are your forest walk teachers?
Dave is my forest play, and Corey is my forest play. Axton. Corey's my forest play, and Dave is my paleo play.
So he has forest play and paleo play, where they go play out in the woods, they make forts, they learn about the different plants there, they learn about interacting with wildlife and how to do it in a conscious way, and how to be conscious about our involvement in the environment and all sorts of awesome things. And this is the great place to do it. The mountains are literally like right out the back of your door. Grotto Mountain is like 5 minutes away. Anyway, okay, so come with me into the yard. So take a look. Now, as you can see, I've outlined all the borders with rocks, and I've planted some wildflowers, but most of this has grown on its own, naturally. As you can see, there is red clover, which makes a great tea, and is great for preventing kidney infection, cleansing the kidneys. There's poppies, there's white clover. You can make a tea out of that too, and you can just eat the flowers. I like eating the flowers. This is goat's beard. It looks a lot like dandelion. A lot of people just think it's giant dandelion. It turns into this once it seeds. Has these giant like dandelion kind of like seeds. And the goat's beard, in the fall, the roots can be harvested and eaten like parsnip. So it's another great food source. And here are some wildflowers. Check out that. Wildflowers are coming out to play. This is yellow clover. The animals love to eat it. They nibble on the leaves a little bit. That's why you can see these leaves have been nibbled. And it works as an anticoagulant. So I wouldn't recommend dosing yourself, but they do make anticoagulants in hospitals for surgery and stuff like that out of it. It's very potent, so be careful with it. If you don't know what you're doing, you best not eat it. And of course we have a lot of dandelion, and dandelion I think are one of the most misunderstood gifts that we have brought from Europe to this country. And I mean, without them, the bears would be in serious trouble right now. Their roots are edible, their leaves are edible. In the springtime, the leaves are good in salads. At this time, they're too bitter for that, so I'd steam them. And the roots can be harvested at the end of the season, in the fall, when all the energy goes under the ground, and are great for clearing out your kidneys and just detoxing in general. The flowers, the yellow petals, can be used in salads or can be used to make wine. Here we have some wild chives growing. Chives grow well here. They can be used like onion. See, I have a little path here, and this path leads to where the water is. Check it out. I have mushrooms growing. These are actually edible. They're a type of like shaggy mane kind of mushroom. As they mature, they actually liquefy themselves, so you got to get them when they're really young. This is wormwood. Wormwood is an anti-parasitic. The roots, when harvested in the fall, have mild psychoactive properties that they use to make absinthe. The farmers used to use the wormwood for its antibiotic properties on they'd distill alcohol and they'd steep the roots in it, and they'd use that on the wounds of their cattle so they wouldn't get infected. But they'd drink a lot of it too, and they'd drink too much of it and they'd go kind of crazy, and thus absinthe was invented. And okay, there's a lot of clover. The clover fixes nitrogen. It's great for the soil, it's great for the environment. The bees love it, and same with dandelion, the bees love that. And dandelion has tap roots that aerate the soil, and it also takes nutrients from deep down in the soil and puts them to the surface, including calcium. It fixes a lot of calcium in the soil. We have this kind of daisy growing. See, this is my more wild, like wildflower area. This is pepper grass. Pepper grass can be used as a spice. It's related to mustard. It tastes oniony and garlicky, but you want to harvest it when it's like this. This is when it's dry. And so you take these seed pods and you just break them, and you see those seeds. You can use those seeds, grind them up, put them in a stew. They're really tasty. Here's some more wildflowers. And have some rhubarb there. And you see the nice path. That's all I really walk on, so why would I make the rest of the yard like that? It's counterproductive. I want this land to produce, I want it to thrive, and the environment, the things that grow in it to thrive. This is sheep soil. It's related to amaranth. You can eat the leaves. They taste like spinach. I think they're better than spinach. And the seeds, like amaranth, it's related to quinoa. And the seeds can be harvested and boiled like quinoa. And it makes a super high protein food. And if you come over here, we got some fireweed with some beautiful blossoms. This is yarrow. Yarrow is used as a coagulant, so if you're bleeding, you can use it to stop the bleeding, the leaves. And it also helps, has iron. It's great for menstrual. If you're having a heavy flow during your menstrual cycle, you can make a tea and it will help make the flow less heavy. And here there's lots of sheep sorrel, and we have these little orange flowers. So many pretty flowers here, like, it's crazy. This is another relative to the mustard plant. Its seeds are in these little leaves, will form pods, and they'll be loaded with these little mustard seeds. And so come around here, and yeah, that's the yard. We got like sunflowers growing over there too, and I have the spruce tree here, and I can show you. You can actually use the sap once it gets old as chewing gum, and it turns pink, and it's just like chewing gum. Like, I kid you not. Like, it's amazing how similar it is. And I tap it for some fresh sap to use in my mustache waxes and my body lotions, stuff like that. Okay, so now that I've shown you that, this model, if every yard could be like this, we'd have so much healthier environments. The bees wouldn't be on the verge of collapse. We'd be so much healthier as individuals and as a collective and as an environment. Now, things you need to know. Having a healthy lawn or a healthy yard, it's essential that you have healthy soil. So in order to build the soil, you need to build the life in the soil. Now when you add synthetic fertilizers, basically what they are is concentrated chemical salts. The plants will pick them up really easily because they've been like so processed that they just get absorbed instantly. But the problem with them is that they kill all the life in the soil. Like, if you imagine putting salt on a worm or a slug, anything with a mucous membrane, it has the same effect. So it would just kill all the like worms and all the life forms that require a mucous membrane in the soil. And once those are destroyed from the soil, it's really hard to build the soil back up without them. And so you become reliant on chemical fertilizers because there's no life in the soil to recycle what's there. And in general, like most people who do lawn maintenance, they take away the clippings too. So not only are they taking away the nutrients from the soil and taking away the life in the soil so that those nutrients can't be recycled, but you're taking away the actual matter from the environment, and then you become reliant on the chemical salts or the chemical fertilizers. And with pesticides and herbicides and stuff like that, they too, of course, poison the insects and prevent the insects from being able to breed properly, prevent them from forming their eggs, which of course leads them to their populations to decline, or they become heavily toxic and then the birds eat them and the birds get toxic, and then the things that eat the birds get even more toxic because it just compounds. So I think that's good for this spiel, and maybe I'll make this talk a little more streamlined. This is kind of like spur of the moment kind of thing, and hope to see you soon.